All right, now we're talking about creating your full e-commerce offer stack. We're going to tie in everything that we've been working on so far in this module. And I have a little formula for you. There is some flexibility around this, but essentially what we're doing, just remember all of the principles that we reviewed together. We built the customer avatar canvas because we're trying to identify your target customer's aspirational states and pain points. So we want to include a hook in our offer stack that speaks to the pain point or speaks to the transformation, but ultimately wins your customer's attention and has them listening to what you're about to pitch, right? And then after that, we talked about stacking value with offer attributes. The purpose of these is that once you got your customer's attention, now they're debating to buy, and they go through 4 lines of questioning. How is this product going to make my life better? Do I like the product or the brand that is selling it? Have people endorse this product before? Influence attributes. And ultimately, is my perceived value of everything you told me outweighing the cost? And I will commit to buying. So that's what we're trying to do with an offer stack. Get the attention and address that full line of questioning with offer attributes. So with the formula here at the top, you could see that I'm suggesting here, start with a hook. We're going to brainstorm on how to do this. I'm going to show you some examples and then you can go and create your own. But you may want to start with a hook that agitates the pain point, speaks to the transformation. From there, you can include a functional attribute. You got their attention, then they might be wondering, how is the product going to make my life better? So talk about the features of the product here and the functional aspects. The third one here, you can include an influence attribute. Include a third-party endorsement. The next one here, we're going to include a brand attribute where you can address your values or your mission or your vision or some type of narrative where the customers can see themselves in the story. And the last thing here, you want to include a transactional attribute. This could be one of those proven transactional attributes that we reviewed in the previous section. It could be things like pricing justification, etc. So this is the essential framework of creating an offer stack. And the thing about an offer stack is that it lives everywhere. This is essentially your pitch. This is how you're pitching your products to your customer. And I want you to picture for a sec that you were talking to your customer face to face, not on your website, not in an ad, not in an email. You're walking down the street and you run into your perfect customer. Using the formula I just showed you, the conversation may go a little bit like this. Hey there, perfect customer. Are you having this pain point? Because I can help with it. And then you kind of got their attention because they're like, wow, this business knows me. I actually do have that pain point. It keeps me up all night. Then you're going to address a functional attribute. Well, here's how we make your life better with our solution. Then you're going to include a brand attribute. This is where the customer decides whether or not they trust and like the person selling it. So you want to include values that align with your customer. You could say something like, we're on a mission to solve this problem for everybody just like you. And then they fall in love with you and they align with your values. And the last thing that you would say is some type of transactional attribute. It could be an incentive to buy. Like, hey, if you buy now, you get a gift with purchase. Or it could be a pricing justification. Hey, you may spend this much with us, but you don't need to replace us every 3 years and you'll save in the long run. Right? So this is what an offer stack looks like. It's essentially your pitch to your customer because we know we need to get their attention with the hook. And that's where we get ideas from the customer avatar canvas. And we know what their line of questioning is. Will this product make my life better? Do I like the person selling it? Have other people endorsed it? And does the perceived value outweigh the cost based on everything I know? So this is what your stack looks like. And now I'm going to show you examples of how you can apply this offer stack to your website, to your emails, and to your ads. And after I show you those examples, we're going to go ahead and create your first few offer stacks. And later throughout the certification, we are going to start applying those to your website, to your emails, and to your ads. So let's hop into a few examples here. When we think about creating our full offer stack, it doesn't necessarily come in the form of an ad. It doesn't come in the form of an email. It doesn't come in the form of a landing page. Really, when we think of the full offer stack, as I said, this is your pitch. So what you're trying to do is use a hook to get their attention and then stack value with your offer attributes. And when you do that, when you create your pitch, it can live anywhere. You can put your pitch on your homepage. You could put your pitch on a landing page. You could put it in an email. And of course, you could certainly put it in an ad. So we're going to go through a few examples just to see how some of the top brands in e-commerce are doing this. And we're going to dissect to see, Is their homepage, is their email, is their ads including a hook, and is it including all these offer attributes? So with our first example, we have our offer stack in front of us. This is a company that sells waterproof shoes. We mentioned it before, called Vessi. And this is what a good section of their homepage looks like. And as you can see, they have the full offer stack. At the very top of the page, they have transactional attributes. They have a free shipping bar that includes free shipping past a certain threshold. If you remember correctly, that's a transactional attribute. Next, as we go down the page, you could see that they have a hook. They have a line. It's a message. It says, slip into all day comfort. That's speaking to the aspirational state of the buyer. Comfortable shoes all day long impacts their average day and the before and after grid that we talked about in the customer avatar canvas. As we go along, we're continuing on. We see they have a whole section addressing functional attributes. These shoes are waterproof, they're breathable, they're lightweight. And the last little bullet point there has a brand attribute, right? It's saying that we are creature free, 100% vegan. And as we continue on the website, we see that they have influence attributes as well. They include customer testimonials right there. And they say with social proof as well, we were featured in Forbes, we're featured in Globe and Mail and all these publications. So you get the idea here, right? This is an offer stack. It has a hook in there. It has transactional attributes, brand attributes, influence attributes, and functional attributes. And it serves as a pitch to the customer. Now, I want you to picture for a sec that your offer stack does not live on a website or in an email or in an ad. I want you to picture for a sec that you're walking down the street and you run into your perfect customer walking by. The first thing that you need to do is get their attention. That's where the hook comes into play. And if I was Vessi, I might say, hey, do you want to slip into some all-day comfort? These are going to be shoes that are going to be comfortable all day long. If I was someone with bunions on the back of my heels, you got my attention because you're speaking to a deep pain point, right? And then how about a function? Hey, these are waterproof, breathable, and lightweight. Okay, I'm interested in all of those things. And then they might be asking, but do I like the brand selling them? Well, we're creature-free, 100% vegan. If I align with those values, you got my attention. And of course, we got influence attributes. So you could say, hey, our products were featured in Forbes and the Globe and Mail. We got some credibility, right? So they're using the influence attributes. And if you spend a certain amount, we're going to send this to you for free shipping at a certain threshold, right? So they've stacked all of these essential pieces. They got the hook that we pulled from the customer avatar canvas, and they have the TBIF offer attributes in there as well. And let's look at another example. So we're looking at another website homepage example here. And this is a company called 10 Tree, right? Every time you spend $1, they plant 10 trees. They're really big on brand attribute, as you could probably tell. But if we take a little audit of their website here, we could see they have a hook right there in the top, endless summer. So they're speaking to the aspirational state of the customer's summer. They got the hook right in there. And if you go down, they have influence attributes right in there as well. They are featuring a collaboration that they did with National Geographic. That's a very well-known global brand. So they're flexing the third-party endorsement of this well-known other brand. And on the side there, they have a transactional attribute. They have a link to the 50% off section that gives people the option to buy at a discount. Continuing on the website, you could see that they have a lot of brand attributes. They're talking about sustainability. In the next section down here, they're talking about influence attributes and brand attributes built into one. They're saying that over 70,000 trees planted, right? So that's saying that we've serviced a lot of customers and we're helping the planet at this rate. And continuing on the website, they got functional attributes on there as well. They're talking about the materials, organic cotton. So the takeaway here is they have this full offer stack. They're including the hook. They have influence attributes on there, the transactional, function, and brand all in one place. Let's take a look at one more homepage example. And this is Huel again. And if we're looking right at the top, they're addressing influence attributes right at the top there by saying thousands of this product sold. It's our best seller. So they're validating that they have lots of customers who love it. Influence attribute. Continuing on, they have a big message all about a free gift with purchase. Which kind of attribute is that? That's a transactional attribute. Okay, and continuing on, now they have the hook lower in the page. So they don't have it right at the top, but they have a hook in there that's speaking to the pain point of the customer or the aspirational state. So this line says, hey, this isn't diet food, it's food. And that would be a big pain point for a lot of people on a diet where they don't really know what they're eating, all these different supplements. The next hook, replace boring meals. That's a really good one that's speaking to the aspirational state. And if we continue on, they have a whole function section that talks about the benefits of the product. And lastly, on this little screenshot here, we can see that they have influence attributes that include tons of raving testimonials from real customers. Again, this is what a full offer stack looks like. They have hooks in there that speak to the aspirational state of the customer, and we were using our customer avatar canvas for that. And then they're stacking their value that addresses that line of questioning of the customer. Let's take a look at another example of an offer stack. This one comes in the form of an email, and it's from a luggage company called Away. And you can see right at the top of the email, they have the hook that's going to get the customer's attention because they're speaking to a pain point. And this email says, the world is open again, right? Everybody wasn't traveling during the pandemic, and this hook is getting everybody excited because we can now travel again. And then they include right below that, they have a brand attribute, and they share what their mission is. Right below this, there's an influence attribute where they're basically saying, hey, we spoke to hundreds and hundreds of our customers, and here's what they had to say. So they're validating that they have a big customer base, which is an influence attribute. Next, they have a whole function stack. They talk about all the functional attributes of their product. They say we have removable battery, unbreakable shell, and on and on and on. And last but not least, they include a good old transactional attribute right at the bottom. Free shipping, free returns. So this is another good example of how you could have this full offer stack within an email. Let's take another look at another example. This is an offer stack applied to a Facebook ad. Okay, so right at the top of this ad, there's an influence attribute right there. It's a customer testimonial. And I love this customer testimonial because it also addresses functional attributes, where it says, hey, I love this jewelry. It's minimal. It's dainty. And then right below that in the creative, they got that hook. They say gold that actually lasts. Speaks to that pain point of that customer who probably bought a lot of gold that got tarnished really quickly. And then they include a transactional attribute in the creative. I love this one. If you sell a product that you never want to discount, I encourage you to do something like this. It's pricing justification. It's basically saying you only need to buy our product once and it lasts a lifetime instead of needing to replace it time and time again, which is going to cost you so much in the long run, right? And looking below that, right there in the headline of the ad, they got a transactional attribute. They're saying buy one, get one 40% off for our Mother's Day sale. And they finish this is like a perfect ad. They finish it with a nice, awesome influence attribute where they say, as seen in Vogue, Elle, and everywhere else. So this is a good example of using an offer stack right in an ad. And we're gonna look at one more example of using an offer stack in a Facebook ad. They got a nice hook right at the top of this Facebook ad. It basically says, are you short on time at lunch? Speaking to that average day pain point from the customer avatar canvas. Right below that, they have functional attributes. It's talking about the amount of protein, the amount of spices that are in the products. And then they got the hook right there. It's a really clever one. It says, you versus the guy she tells you not to worry about. Speaking to a pain point there. And we look further down the ad, we got some functional attributes stacked in there as well. They talk about the prep time. They talk about the amount of protein, the amount of vitamins, whether or not it's vegan. And of course, they include a nice transactional attribute there. They're saying it's only a few dollars per meal. So they're breaking it down to the cost of the meal, which is a transactional attribute. And then they got another functional one. It's talking about the amount of protein again. And last but not least, transactional attribute to close this offer stack out, free shipping across the US. So with these examples, you could see how we're creating our pitch. We call this our offer stack. And to recap, an easy formula that I want you to use to create your first few offer stacks is this. Start with a hook. Next, include a functional attribute. Then include a brand attribute. Then include an influence attribute. And close it off with a transactional attribute. Now, we spent a lot of time flushing out your customer avatar canvas. So I want you to use 3 different hooks, right? You're going to create 3 different offer stacks, use 3 different hooks that you pulled from your customer avatar canvas. And then for your 3 offer stacks, I want you to use 3 different functional attributes, 3 different brand attributes, 3 different influence attributes, and 3 different transaction attributes. So you will have 3 very different offer stacks, but this is going to get you in the habit of pitching your products in a way where the value is perceived to be so high that your customer would be silly to pass up on your offer. Okay, and as we go through the certification, we're going to reuse this. So you're not just wasting your time brainstorming. We're actually going to use your offer stacks when we focus on your website, on your emails, and in your ads. And there you have it. In this section, we worked on your strategy, your positioning, and creating the perfect offer stack to use in your campaign. I hope you did all the work because you're going to be using it throughout the remaining sections. And now we're going to hop into your online store.